Welcome, everybody. Welcome, beautiful women of Gaia. And welcome to our interview discussion today with Barbara Pinter. And I'm going to introduce Barbara briefly. She's a wonderful, amazing lady, which I had the privilege to meet in Slovenia, one of my favorite countries to visit. And we'll be doing a beautiful discussion today. And our theme is going to be the power of truth-telling and the freedom of truth-telling that comes from that space. So Barbara, would you like to just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Eleftheria. And first, really thank you that you invite me to this interview with you. I'm really so happy that I'm privileged to share a little bit about my story, a little bit about my journey. And if I want to explain very shortly, my journey is that I am Bachelor of Economic by my degree, and I was working 20 years in business, restructuring companies and in controlling. But doing that job, I was not satisfied. And I was empty. And I feel really deep inside this loneliness. And of course, that's how my journey began. And 10 years is now that I left this job of mine, and I start searching for myself, for my truth, who I am, who I really am, how can I serve. And 3 years ago, I came into the community of feminine power with my mentor, Dr. Claire Zemitz. And last year I finished this certification. So now I'm feminine power coach, feminine power facilitator, and also leading these leadership programs. What changed for me? It changed from unworthiness to worthiness, from being alone to connection and support, and from protecting myself to growing each day. I'm very passionate to support the other, not just women, also men, let's say heartful people who want to grow in their lives, to go to, to expand, to up level their lives. So I'm really, really glad that you will come to Slovenia, because those energies are really, really potential for our growth. So thank you that you are coming again.
The absolute pleasure. I absolutely love Slovenia, and I love the people, and I absolutely love the nature and your enchanting forests and crystal clear lakes and the amazing energy that's there. It really is a very, very, very special place. What a beautiful space. I just can't stop visiting you. So I hope you'll keep visiting me. And then just a little bit about me. Thank you for that introduction. I don't know your story. I don't know the full story. And it's quite amazing to hear that you're from a finance background. And often I think when women find that meaningfulness, that they can contribute so much back to that same environment, because women go on this heroine's journey where they look for that deeper meaning, and they return, and when they return they give so much more value, because they're really in the center of their power, and that's what they have to offer, with understanding the entire environment and what was missing from it, so that they can bring back that key, that access point for people. So it's such what an incredible gift to offer. Yeah. So a little bit about me. My name is Eleftheria. It means freedom or liberty, and that's very much what I'm all about. No pressure to live up to the name. It's all about freedom, and that's really what I stand for. Is just that personal freedom to really set ourselves free from all of the limitations which we place about ourselves. And I often say it's not a journey of becoming, but a journey about unbecoming all the things that you think you should be, and how we've been conditioned to think how we should be, how we need to interact, what relationships should be, what success is, all of those things. So it's really just stripping all of that stuff down and stepping back into the truth of who you really are. And my journey kind of started with a passion for understanding and a deep knowledge for truth and wisdom. And since I was very, very young, I questioned everything. And this journey of just seeking wisdom, knowledge, and truth has led me on an incredible adventure throughout my entire life. And so I started off studying clinical psychology, and then understood that psychology is fantastic and it's a wonderful foundation, but there was something missing. And for me, the missing part of it was the feminine quality and the spiritual aspects of it. We're body, mind, and spirit. And so if we want to create sustainable transformation in our lives, we need to access all three of those aspects. We're multidimensional people. So I then studied all different types of therapies and methodologies and alternative therapies to really just give a full complement for the holistic part of who we are. So that is really a little bit of my story, and I'm deeply passionate about awakening, activating, and anchoring the divine feminine or the sacred feminine here, and I really believe that that's part of my purpose of what I'm here and what I can contribute to our planet at this time. So that's a little bit about my story, yes. So thought we'd start today by just telling you a little bit about how we actually stepped into this collaboration and how we accessed and used the feminine frequency to actually to bring this interview and this discussion to you. So often we kind of like start with the structure, which is very masculine. So we put down a couple of themes which we thought were really valuable and which would speak to you and which could really bring value into your life. And we had a pre-meeting, and we both had a piece of paper that we printed out on, like, these are the discussion points we would love to share. Yes. And then and that's kind of like really working with the masculine structure. But the feminine structure is then also really just tapping into, okay, so we have that structure and we have this discussion point which we know will be valuable, but there's like an essence of the softer aspect and the soft body of what else is the complement to the piece of paper. And so what we did was we did a little meditation where we just turned our gaze inwards and really just stepped into accessing that beautiful frequency of the feminine frequency. And that's where intuition and creativity and openness and trust gets accessed. So we just asked, how could we serve you? What else needs to emerge out of this discussion? And so we did this meditation, tapped into really looking at the symbology and metaphors, because our intuition speaks to us through metaphors, and we received all the magical things that we're going to be talking about today. Is there anything you wanted to share about that process, Barbara?
I just want to say that yesterday when we have this pre-meeting, it was really a magic. It was really a magic how we create then this secret space that in which we are going to share what we want to share. And it was really interesting that from this structure that we put something really soft emerge, and I'm really so glad that we will share this with our listeners. So I'm looking forward.
Good. Thank you. So we thought we would include you in that, and what we're going to do is we're going to invite you into just a little, I call it sacred feminine practice. And it's to know that the feminine frequency is always available to us. It's like a radio station, and we can tune into it or tune out when our minds are busy, or if we're outside of our body, you just tune out of that radio station. And so this is just a practice which you could use in before a meeting, before you have a tough conversation with somebody, when you need some guidance, or you just want to tap into that soft body of the feminine. So I'm just going to take you through a little meditation or this practice. And what I'd like to invite all of you into is to just step into that space, and that space just opens you up so that you can really receive whatever it is that right now you really need to receive. Because we may be saying something in the discussion afterwards, which maybe you're waiting for a sign, or you're waiting for a confirmation, or you're waiting for something. And that's why you're here in this moment listening to us. And so with openness, we can receive that. So we're going to start with just closing the eyes. When we close the eyes, we kind of shut down the mental mind and we turn our gaze inwards. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to just take a really slow, deep breath in, filling up your belly, filling up the lungs. And as you exhale that breath, I want you to sigh out that breath. Just letting go of the day and the week stuff. Another nice, slow, deep breath in. Just appreciating this breath of life that just flows so effortlessly in and out of your body. And as you exhale, just letting go of any expectations, any thoughts, any worries, any concerns. And one more nice deep breath in, breathing in relaxation, breathing in presence, and breathing out any tension or stress, worry, expectation. And I want you to just turn your awareness inwards into your inner world. And we're going to just imagine that from the bottom of our feet or the bottom of our spine, we grow roots. Roots which just anchor us into this moment, into the interconnection with this beautiful planet that we live on. If your mind gets busy, just imagine your thoughts being like clouds in the sky passing by you, without judging yourself for having those thoughts, without analyzing them, just noticing them passing by. Bring your awareness back to your body. Then I'd like you to place one hand, whichever hand feels right to you, on your womb, this beautiful power center of the feminine, the center of creative power, and your other hand on your heart. And I want you to imagine, sense or feel that there's a beautiful connection between your two hands, connecting your womb and your heart. we're going to draw a beautiful golden circle of light around ourselves. And we're just going to declare the space as sacred, as safe, connecting our greatness, the part of us that is whole, healed, and complete, with the part of us that is maybe in struggle or in overwhelm or questioning right now. And I want you to just drop your awareness now into your heart space, this beautiful, soft center of tenderness and kindness, compassion. And I want you to just feel the beautiful radiance of unconditional love, knowing that through your roots, you're interconnected to every living, sentient being on the planet, every molecule on our planets, in our galaxy, in the universe. We're interconnected to all of it. And if you can, I want you to just imagine or connect with that innocent child that lives inside you, that is completely living from a space of wonder and curiosity and sees everything as beautiful and magical and is curious and open. And that innocent part of you that hasn't been wounded, that knows that it's a child of the universe, that it is capacity, that it's impossibility, that child lives in your heart. Just connect to that place of curious wonderment. And when you're ready, you're just going to take a nice, slow, deep breath in. And just open your eyes. Flutter your eyes open and just see how long you can hold this connection. Okay. Good. Now that we're in the soft body of the heart center, let's start our discussion on the freedom of truth telling. So, I actually wanted to just share part of our discussion which we had yesterday, Barbara, which was so interesting for me, about the freedom that comes from accessing the deeper truth. And you were sharing the story with me about a lady that thought that one thing was the problem, but when she accessed the deeper truth of it, she could really, that was the freedom, because in that place of really understanding what the challenge was, that is where you can actually transform or make a different choice or change. So often we get stuck. I think we ask the wrong question and we get stuck there when we're in challenge. But it is that deeper understanding which gives us the freedom.
Yeah, yeah. But you can access to your truth in a space of safetyness. You cannot do that if you don't feel safe, and that's why it's so important that you have around you people power people who can hold the space for you, not to judge you, not to change you, but just to accept you as you are. And this is the so this is the first thing that I think we feel, and we also invite us now in this safe place of connectiveness, place of truth, place of safe. Yeah. But being in your truth is very important. Yeah.
Yes.
And
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that is such a powerful statement, you know, to say I am safe, because I think I know for myself, and I know for a lot of my clients and my students, it's the um it's such a powerful key, because not a lot of people feel safe.
yeah.
And the thing I often
Yeah,
explain when it comes to the balancing the masculine and the feminine is that the masculine is really the protector. It's the safe container for the feminine. And unless the feminine feels safe, she will never open up and unfurl and be vulnerable and really access that deeper truth, which gives her 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 superpower or her gift space to be expressed. So that safety and that creation of a safe space is incredibly important. Without it, we won't be vulnerable. We won't share. We can't step into that place of power.
Yeah, but from my heroine's journey, as you mentioned before, I must admit that in my past, I was looking for this safetyness outside of myself. So in my job, in my status, in my position, in my partnership in my marriage. But this safetyness that I feel now doesn't come from outside, it comes from inside, because I know that I'm the one who creates safe place for myself to grow, to evolve, to serve. And it came from this place that I know that I'm not alone, that I can open to this divine, and that life and this divine hold a bag and a space for me to be in my best version, in my greatness. So this safetyness come from inside.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm, mm. Yes, I agree 100%. Yes, and I think it's very much the same with power. Is that we try and find a place of power outside of ourselves. So when we feel, you often find that the behavior of powerlessness is when you try and dominate something else, or you try and overpower something else, because you don't feel it within. And so from that place of fear, because overpowering is fear, you're trying to get it outside of yourself. By, if I dominate that person, then I will feel powerful, but actually you're feeling powerless. And so the balance of that is, there's that beautiful saying that empowered women empower other women. So when you have that sense of power, and for me, overpowering comes from a space of fear, or when your power is really rooted in love, in divine love, which is connected to the divine love and your love. That's when you're self-sufficient or self-reliant, and you live from the inside out. So from this space, it's easy for you to empower others, and you want the empowerment of others because you have your own. You don't feel like you need to, if you have it, you're taking away from somebody else, or there is an imbalance in it. Yeah. And that safety and security is also, part of the practice of vulnerability.
Yeah. Yes.
Often people will only, um, we risk manage all the time. So whether it's a relationship or a career choice, or only when you have certainty will you step into it because you think that that's safety. So we make decisions and choices all about mitigating risk, and to stay in the comfort zone. And because we think that's what gives us security and safety, but that can be taken away at any moment. The only guarantee in life is that there are no guarantees.
Yeah.
So when you place your power in that safety or security outside of yourself, that is fleeting and moving and changing all the time, you're going to be off center and off balance and lose your power all the time. And I think the answer is to lean into that discomfort. The magic happens outside the comfort zone. Lean into the discomfort of uncertainty, and in a way that gives you the safety, because if you know I'm going to be okay no matter what
Mm.
the
Mm.
circumstance, that's the
Mm.
safety, and that's where I find empowerment for myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I can share my part of the story,
Yeah.
first is that regarding the power, um, most of us are familiar with this power over, as we said, it is masculine power. But what we are yearning for is this power with. So this is what I call this feminine. Yeah, you said so nicely, empowering others. You can empower others, but firstly, you have to feel that power. But this real truth power, so power with. So this is the first thing that I want to share with you. And the other is, um, again, from my heroine journey, is the thing that were familiar for me from my childhood, which hold me safe, let's say.
Mm.
So these things that were familiar for me was not the best for me. So I really have to step into unfamiliar that I know. So not safe, as you said,
Yeah.
going out from the comfort zone. So unfamiliar, and holding a space for this unfamiliar. In feminine power, we said that we hold the space for this dynamic tension. So be powerful enough to hold this dynamic tension, to be in unfamiliar. That means that you grow your capacity and you grow into something new version of you, best version of you. So for me, this was so connect with this truth power with, and to hold a space for these unfamiliar things for me, and to feel safe in this. And in short times, this become familiar for me. And then again, what is unfamiliar to become familiar? So this was this circling for me, and growing with that, and touching with my power. And something else, what I want to add, you were connecting us very much with this second chakra and our heart chakra. But when we want to go out and when we want to play our bigger game, we have to open this third chakra, so the power chakra. And this power chakra, I found out it's very connected with this fifth chakra, so voice, talking the truth, as we already discussed. So everything is so in connection, and really open to that is so important, especially for the women, because we know from the past that it was not allowing us to talk our truth.
Absolutely.
So we have to empower each other to talk the truth, to feel freedom and to feel safe.